Good evening, traders. Welcome back to another episode of Greenback Riders Trading Academy. Today is 20th April, and we will be looking at what we are expecting from the market between the 21st and the 25th. That's next week. We just had the options expiry happen last Thursday. So let us take a look at what we are expecting going into the week and specifically for tomorrow. Again, as we normally do, we will be taking a look at the price action, and then we will be looking at the SPX gamma levels and see how they are positioned as of now. Before we start, if you are liking the content of these videos and if these are helping you out, please make sure to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and click on the notification icon. Let us start taking a look at the weekly chart. So from this previous high that we had on this particular week, this was the week when the tariffs first came into existence. We had the first entry short, we went back up. This may be creating a second entry short. But at this point of time, we want this low of the week to be taken out to the 5250 area. Now, in spite of this being a red candle, we have a long wick at the top, a long wick at the bottom. So on the weekly chart, it is kind of an indecision candle, right? So now we have to see if we are breaking down this particular low, the 5250 to the 5246 or 45 areas. If we are breaking this particular box down, then the next area of support will be somewhere between 5217 to 5215. Failing that, and if we are also failing the 5200 level, it can bring us down to this 5180 area, which happens to be the 50% area of the last week. And then we have the next support at the 5153 level. Now, if we are breaking this down, we may actually come down to this 5074 and to these areas to the downside. Now, this is on the weekly level. We will have much better details when we are looking at the lower time frame charts. However, on the upside, if we are able to hold this 5307 to the 5300 area, or I would rather say this 5297 area, if we are able to hold this, if the bulls are able to hold this here, or for example, it comes down, it just dips below this particular box and then gets above this 5308 area, I would again look for a test of this 5350, and then we may come back to this orange box, which was actually the opening of last Monday. And if we are coming up to this orange box and we are breaking it out, it can get back to the 5420 to the 5429 areas again, which is again the 33% of the 2024 bar. And then, as we had talked about so many times, we will see if we are getting above this and coming to this pink box area. Above this pink box, we can get to this 5520 line. And then we will need this 5536 line to be broken out, because this is a monthly low that we have broken to the downside, and we now need to take that up. And then we can think about the price moving to the next levels, to the 5575, the 5603, the 5636, and so on. Now, at this point of time, the previous week, this particular week has become a mother bar to this week, right? And we have also broken out of this channel once again. So there is a possibility that the price may come down to the 50% of this week, or maybe to the lower 33% of this week. I would actually suggest that everyone puts the mother bar fibs on this particular weekly chart at this point of time and see how the market behaves. Also, we have one mother bar that is existing from last week's Thursday. We will take a look at that daily chart. So at least the major areas, about the 33% of the weekly and the daily mother bars, the 50%, the 66%, we should be aware of those levels, because there is a higher probability that there can be a bounce from that area, even though it might be temporary, but that can result in a pretty good trade. Let us now take a look at the daily chart. So if you see from this particular top, we had the first leg down, we had a pullback here, and then we have the second leg down. Now, what remains to be seen is whether we are coming down and breaking down this 5287.25 level, which was the low of Thursday, and then we continue down to the 5279 to the 80 areas, and then we can actually get back down to these levels that we were talking about on the weekly chart as well, which is between 5250 and 5245. If we break down, then definitely we will come and have a test of these levels, followed by we can come down to the 50% of last week, and then to this 2024 11%. Now, if we are breaking down this 2024 11%, the next area that I will be looking on the daily chart will be around 5126 to the 5113 areas. Breaking out of that, we can expect the price to come somewhere to the 99 to the 96 levels in the 5000s. And then we will see if we are getting back to this 5050 areas. However, if you're looking at this daily chart, this particular box around 5116, that will also be the midpoint of the channel. So that can be another good area of bounce. And if it goes and sits above this 5156 again, most probably it will target to the 5180 and to the 5217 levels back again. Now to the upside on the daily chart, we will have to see that we are breaking out of this orange box. Then we will come somewhere between 5403 and 5421 to the 5429 line. And if we are breaking out of the 5429 lines, as we talked about on the weekly chart, we will be able to get back to this 5483 to the 5493 areas, and then we will see if we are getting up back to the 5521, 5536, so on and so forth. Now if you see here, we have this mother bar from last Thursday, and currently we have this daily mother bar, the Wednesday's bar, also as a mother bar to the Thursday's bar, right? So if we are breaking out these lows, we can get a 1:1 of this whole bar to the 508380 areas, and breaking that down, we can easily get back to the 5050 areas as well. Now if we are breaking out of this 542122 levels to the upside, then the 1:1 of this mother bar actually takes us to the 5720 levels. Now this has been the first entry long here. Now we have to see that we are having a second entry long, and then we are continuing and breaking out of this pink box, breaking out of this 5520 to the 36 areas. That will give us an idea that we can actually get back and continue up to this 5720 areas again. Now on the daily chart, we have a ATR of around 190, 200 points at this point of time, and we are in a trading range, right? And if you see on the daily chart, this kind of rejection happened here, a similar rejection happened here as well. So tomorrow also we can have a similar kind of a structure. It can create a II structure as well. So another inside bar inside the Thursday's bar that we had. And then in the subsequent days in the week, we will see if we are breaking down these lows and breaking down these lows and coming to the downside. But if we are getting another bar which is similar to this, and especially if it closes with a bearish body, there will be a big opportunity for the bears to bring it down from this 5287 areas and continue to the downside. However, if we are thinking that there will be a 150 point move, we do not know how the market will open up today evening. But considering the close of Thursday, your 150 point comes somewhere near the 5159 or the 5160 areas to the downside. And to the upside, if you're trying to consider 150 points, it will bring us to 5464 and maybe to the 5487 areas, which is back again to this pink box. Then it can have a double top there once again, and it can start getting rejected. So that is what we have on the daily chart at this point of time. Let us take a look at the 4-hour chart. Now looking at the 4-hour chart, after we had this particular low, this was the first entry long. We created a doji right there. We came back down. This was the second entry long. Right now we have gone above this 5352.25 area, which is the high of this particular bar. And then we have rejected right at the 20 EMA of the 4-hour chart, and we have come down. So on the 4-hour chart, this might have been a two-legged move to the EMA, and then the price will break down once more. However, to believe that this second entry long has failed, we need a closure of a 4-hour bar below this 528687 line, the line that we were talking about on the daily chart as well. And then we will see if we are breaking down this 5278 areas to get us to this bottom. And then we will see if we are breaking down this bottom and trying to come and touch this particular trend line once again. On the 4-hour chart in this downward channel, this has been the first breakout, and there is every possibility that we will come down and try to get a new low, or at least retest these lows inside this channel. However, if we can go and hold above this 5352 area, there will be a possibility that we will test this 5359 and 5372 areas. And from there, we can get either a short opportunity, or there will be a breakout of this particular trend line. And there will be an opportunity to get to this above this 5380 area and get to this 5420 to the 29 areas once again. And then we will see if we are able to break out to the upside. But one more thing that needs to be noticed is we are having a tight trading range on the 4-hour chart right at the EMA. So the higher probability is that it will pull away from the EMA to the downside, and maybe we will be revisiting these areas or create another new low to get a third leg to the downside on the 4-hour chart. Now I readjusted this particular bottom channel line a bit. So if we will have to see, we do not know when the price will come back down here, but if the price wants to come back down, break this down, I think there will be a high probability that we will come and test this 5180 area at least, and farther down to this 5150, touch this particular line in this area, maybe break it down and retest these areas near the midpoint of the major bearish channel that we have at this point. However, if the bulls become stronger and they go above the 20 EMA on the 4-hour chart, then a measured move of this particular move to the upside can bring us back to this 5465 areas, and that actually coincides with the 150 point move from the close of Thursday, right? Now, if somehow the price is able to get above the 20 EMA, and then the 1:1 of this particular move to the upside will bring us to 5405, and as the price continues to move up higher, we can actually come and hit this 5464 areas as well, which happens to be the 1:1.5 area, and that also coincides with our 150 point move to the upside from Thursday's close. And then we will see if we are breaking out of this particular pink box and reaching these levels to the upside. Now, if we are doing a measured move of this drop, pullback, and then another drop, we already got the 1:1 to the 5281. We actually broke below that and came above that, and we tried to get above the 50% of this whole thing to the upside, but we have failed. Till now, if you see this 5354 or the 5355 area, which is actually this 12-month breakout area, that area has been failing. So as long as we do not hold above that area and continue to go upside, the bulls will not find momentum, and the bulls actually need to take out this 5372 to the 75 area in order to find momentum to break out of this 20 EMA band and move to the upside. And if that move happens, we will see if we are able to get to this 5429 area, which happens to be the 50% of this particular move, and then we will see if we are able to get to the pink box to the upside. But looking at the structure till now, from this particular high, we again created a first entry short, we went back up, and now we have created a second entry short. And looking at this structure, I am thinking personally that there is a higher probability of the market coming and testing these lows once again. Now, the 1-hour chart is in a complete trading range. From these lows at 5250, we had a 3-legged move. There's the first leg, we had a pullback. This is the second leg up. We had a pullback right here, and then we had the third leg up. Right after that, we had a 2-legged move to the downside, which brought us to the 5296 areas. And after that, we are having a higher low at this point of time. Now, from this particular low, again, we have created a first entry long and a second entry long. So now if we are able to get above this 5331 or the 5333 levels and get out of this 5350 levels, then there is a possibility that we will come to these boxes here again, the orange boxes like we talked about in the 537075 areas, break out of that and come to the upside. Now, if you consider that this was one straight leg and this was the pullback, in that case, if the bulls are becoming active and they are getting above this 5375 areas, then there is a possibility we will come back to this 5406 or the 5405 line that we also saw on the 4-hour chart. So this will be a very good target for the bulls tomorrow if the morning session opens up somewhere here and we are strongly going up to the upside. Now, to the downside, as I was saying, we need to break down the 5300 level. If we break down the 5300 level, we have an intraday support here at 5292 to the 5296 areas. But breaking this down once again strong, we can actually come back to this 5278 lines, and then we can follow through to the 5250 area once again, and subsequently to these levels as we were talking about. However, the main thing that needs to be seen is this 5280 line is breaking out. The price may come down till here, but again bounce from here and get back above the 530708 areas and continue to the upside, thereby staying in this particular trading range for some more time. So if the market opens up somewhere here tomorrow and then you are seeing that there is a downward surge right in the morning, the first thing you will need to see that we are breaking down this 5297 to the 5292 areas. That has been a consistent support here, and then you can actually target for this 5277 and to the subsequent levels to the downside. Otherwise, it can just bounce from here, get above this 5308 area once again and try to get back to this 5350, then to the 5367 areas. Now, before we get into the SPX Gamma levels, I would like to mention that I stay online on Google Meet from around 9 o'clock in the morning, at least till 12 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. If you're interested in joining that call, the link to our free Discord server is given in the description below. And once you are in the Discord server, you will see that the link will pop up somewhere around 8:45 a.m. in the webinar channel that we have. Now, all the charts that we are describing here, the link to those are given in the description below. So if you want to take a look at it, just go to the description and click on the link there. Now, looking at the SPX gamma levels, this is the most important support at 5200 that we have. And if you see, that is also coinciding with this price action support on the 5200. Now, first thing we need to remember that there is a 30 to 40 point spread between the SPX spot prices and the ES future spot prices. So whenever during the day you are looking at a specific line, make sure to look at what is the spread at that particular point of time. So if you're going by the gamma levels, that will actually help you to decide your stop losses and your take profit areas, and also maybe to initiate the trade in the beginning. The second aggregate gamma is at 5250, which is another good support. And then the third aggregate gamma is at 5100. And the fourth aggregate gamma is at 5300. There is one minor gamma here at 5400. But that is also the fourth put open interest and the fourth call open interest area. There is a little bit of positive gamma in this area 5310 to the 5305, and this whole area has a positive gamma again. So if the markets are bullish, then they will not even break down this 5280 to the 5274 areas. They will hold it, and they will try to get above this, take support here maybe as a higher low, get above this 5325 line, which has been a resistance on Thursday, come down here and then break out again to get to this 5350 area, and then it may actually continue up to the upside as well. This is one possibility. The other possibility is, now it all depends where we are opening up in the morning and what is the first move that the price is making. The other possibility is that we open up somewhere here, we go up here, either we get rejected. If we get rejected, then we may take a couple of legs or just one leg to come down to the 2AG, and we may follow down to this particular low that we had on Thursday. If we do not find support here, we can come down to the 1AG line, and then we will see if we are breaking it down and continue further down to the 5150 to the 5100 areas as well. So 5100 on area in SPX will be equivalent to the 5150 area. So we were talking about the 5160 to the 5140 area on ES. So this may be the target for the bears if they want to bring the price down. If they want to bring the price down to this level. Now, the other possibility is that we do not get below the 1AG. The bulls will hold the 5200 and it will get back up to the 5300 levels once again. And from there, we can keep moving to the upside to the 4AG line, and then we will see whether we are moving to these areas. However, if price can break out of this 5350 area, which is the fifth put open interest and the fifth call open interest, I think the bulls will take an attempt to reach the 5390 to the 5410 areas once more. So as I said, these are the major support and resistance areas that we have for SPX at this point of time. Again, most important, where we are opening and what is the first move that the price is making. Based on that, we can have our measured moves. We can look from where to where it has traveled. So for example, if we have started our travel from somewhere around 5240 and we have come down to 5200 and then we are bouncing and coming down again, then we may actually look for 40 points below the 5200 coming back to the 5160. That can be the first area where you can take some profits. So we will be looking out for those kinds of measured moves around this major gamma levels. That is all the analysis that I have for now. Again, if you're liking the videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, click on the notification icon. This is where I will end the video today, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the night and a great rest of the weekend, everyone. Bye.